There's no winging pregnancy. You have to be intentional about taking steps to carry the baby to the full term. That's the same thing with having your expectations and carrying it as pregnancy. So every day you wake up and you remember, I'm pregnant with this promise that I'm waiting on the Lord for. What do? You begin to feed the pregnancy. What do you feed it with? The word of God. You feed it with prayer. You feed it with fasting. You feed it with fellowship. So you start feeding it. You start feeding it. When you're feeding it, you are growing your faith. Okay, so you feed it. What do I mean by feeding the pregnancy? You feed it on the word of God. You feed it by praying. You feed it by fasting. You feed it by sharing with others to pray with you. In James 5, we're told that we should pray for one another because the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much. Then you realize you can't, a pregnant woman is surrounded by community, right? So you start surrounding yourself with community because there is this expectation that you are carrying as pregnancy, that you're waiting on the Lord to birth. Now, a pregnant woman, okay, so that's the first day. She's pregnant and she's taking steps and, watching, ensuring that she's eating the right things to carry her pregnancy to term. But is that all the pregnant woman does? No, it's not. The pregnant woman, once she knows the gender of her child, right? Let's say it's a girl or it's a boy. What does she start doing? She starts buying baby clothes, right? She starts buying baby, not food, but maybe the diapers, the clothes, just little by little, the cots, the baby bed. She starts preparing the baby's room. So she's preparing for the arrival of this baby. So that when the baby comes, because carrying the pregnancy is one thing, when the child comes out is another thing. You have to nurture the child. Now, what do I mean by this? The same way a pregnant woman prepares for her baby is the same way you should be preparing for the blessing when it comes. Yes. If you're trusting God for a multi-million empire, for example, are you equipped to manage a multi-million empire? Do you have the skill set that is needed? So the things that you are trusting God for, that you're carrying in waiting, while waiting for the Lord to answer it, are you actually preparing yourself to carry those blessings? Because remember, once a child is born, if the child is not fed properly, the child will suffer from several diseases like kwashiorkor or anything else and may even die. And you see that, yes, she's birthed the child, but because she was not taking care of the child could not live. It's the same thing with your blessings. It's not enough to wait for it. You have to prepare for when it comes, because when it comes, the Lord is entrusting you with it. And He expects you to be equipped to handle it. So that promise that you're waiting on the Lord for, if it's a marriage, are you preparing yourself to be a good spouse? Are you reading books to be a good spouse?